Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Encrypted and welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are having yourselves a great day, and in today's video I am going to be doing a revisiting of one of my older videos from the past. I made this video about 4 months ago, and it's actually the video that kind of got my channel a little attention and put it on the map a little bit here on YouTube. And for those of you who don't know the video, it is the slime tutorial video. I made a slime tutorial video about 4 months ago on September 14th, and it is the biggest video on this channel. It's about to hit 6,000 views probably today, and basically the video is just me talking about how to find slimes in Minecraft, and you know, I gave you a few tips on it. But the reason I'm revisiting it is because that video really is not that good. The editing was pretty subpar, to be honest. I could have done so much better. I didn't really show much footage of anything, and the way I passed the video off even probably seemed a bit misleading, if I'm being honest. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It was a horrible video, and I feel really bad for releasing such a bad video, especially when it did so well. You guys deserve so much better than that. So what this video is going to be is it's going to be a tribute to that video. I'm basically going to make a much better version of it. I'm going to go back, redo the whole thing, and basically comment over the whole thing. I was pretty depressed when I made that video. Obviously I'm no longer, so I shouldn't be so monotone in this one, and the footage should be pretty good, and hopefully the editing will be much better. And at the end of the day, you guys are going to figure out all the things you need to know about finding slimes here in Minecraft Bedrock Edition, and I'm going to give you guys the same tip I gave in that one, only I'm going to explain it a little bit better. So if you guys are new to the channel though, please feel free to hit the subscribe button. We are working our way up to 300 subscribers. I think we can do it before the end of January. I don't know, I think we could. If you hit the subscribe button, we definitely can though. Also, like the video if it does help you out at all. Finding slimes is hard. I'm going to help you with that problem, hopefully by the end of this video. With that being said, let's get into the video. Alright, so like I said, in this video we're going to be going over all of the main ways slimes spawn, how you can kind of maybe find a way to control it a little bit, and basically how to get slimes on your own in survival. So first things first, how does slimes spawn? It's actually pretty simple. There's two main rules for slimes whenever they spawn. The first rule is you have to be in a slime chunk, which we'll talk about that in just a second, and the second rule is you have to be at least at Y coordinate 39 or lower. If you're not at that level, they will not be able to spawn. Basically, if you want to know what coordinate you're at, all you have to do is open up the settings menu, scroll down to turn on coordinates, and then once you back out of the settings menu, at the top left hand corner, you'll see 3 numbers on a black bar, and the middle number is the one you're going to be focusing on. If that middle number says 39 or lower, then you're in the area that slime should be able to spawn. But again, keep in mind you have to be in a slime chunk. Now, what is a slime chunk? Slime chunk is basically a random chunk generated in the world that allows slimes to spawn. And yes, it is literally that simple. It's just a normal chunk, only slimes can spawn in. Now, the problem is, slime chunks are they're not exactly like super rare, but they're not really that common either. And even if they are common, it's kind of hard to find them because, like I said, you have to be at least at Y coordinate 39 or lower, which means you got to go pretty deep underground, and you just have to be in the right spot at the right time to find slimes. But with the tips I'm going to give you, we might be able to increase your chances a little better. So let's get into that. So the first tip I'm going to give you guys is actually a for sure way of finding slimes, or at least the closest way of finding slimes for sure. And that is going to be the swamp method. If you go to a swamp at night, your chances of finding slimes are actually pretty high. Now here's the thing, alright? You're supposed to go to the swamp during a full moon. But the problem is, I went on Google and it said that you can find slimes even if it's not a full moon, as long as it's not a new moon, which a new moon, by the way, is like a dark moon. If the moon is fully dark, then you can't find them at all. But Google says you can find them during a regular night. Now, I have yet to find them, so I'm going to assume that's false, but I can tell you for sure with video footage that you can find slimes during a full moon. They're not super common, and they're not, you know, super rapid or anything, but they're there nonetheless, and whenever you're desperate for slimes, this is definitely a good way to get them. Now, I actually did use a seed that spawns you right at a swamp, which I'll probably end up making a video on sometime this week, but I will tell you guys that right now, just if you want to know what it is, it's called Bad Bad. It's all uppercase, literally B-A-D, B-A-D, no spaces. That is the seed. It'll spawn you literally right on a swamp, and it's a small swamp, but if it's nighttime and it's a full moon, go there, check out the area, see if you can find some slimes, and hopefully you'll have good luck with that. But anyways, that is the swamp method. Now, the problem with the swamp method is pretty much just the time delay. You know, full moon is pretty rare, it doesn't happen often, you have to wait quite a few nights to get to that point, and even if you are, you know, out during the full moon, you might not even realize it. You know, you're busy, you got other things to worry about, you can't always be staring at the moon, you might accidentally sleep through it, and it's just a pain. So is there any other method we could use to find slimes? And the answer is yes. There's technically 2 other methods that I can tell you right now, but this one is probably more likely to be done than the other, and that method is the slime cave, or the slime mine. You can call it whatever you want. It's basically just underground. If you go deep underground and you dig a giant, and I mean like a giant chunk out of the earth, you're basically gonna have a whole ton of room just open, and if you light it all up, you're going to have a chance of getting slimes if you're in a slime chunk. Lighting up the entire area makes it so no other mobs can spawn, but slimes, however, can spawn in light, which is actually one nice little perk with them. So since they're able to spawn in light, but creepers and spiders and skeletons aren't, that means if you're in a slime chunk and you open up a wide area underground, you light it all up, nothing can spawn there, but if you're in a slime chunk, slimes will be spawning there. And again, I have proof in this footage right here. You're gonna see the slimes are literally spawning practically in front of me. And we're in my mine. I've made a giant mine, as you guys can see, and it just so happened that there were a few slime chunks in there, so that worked out pretty good. But that is the second method. It does take a little while, but at least you're able to, you know, gather a bunch of resources, get a nice mine going, and who knows, you might get a slime chunk. But again, it's just the second method. It might not be that good, but take it with how you will. And now for the third and final method. This method is the video, like the whole point of the video I made when I made the slime tutorial the last time. I passed this off as like a new and, you know, innovative way of finding slimes, and I think that's what angered a lot of people, and I don't blame you, because this method is not that much better than the last one, but it really depends on how much time you're willing to use and, you know, what kind of player you are. Basically, for this final tip, and this is one that I found that works for me, is if you drain a part of the ocean, which I'll get into in a second, if you drain a part of the ocean that goes down to y coordinate 39 or lower, you might end up reaching a slime chunk. Now again, keep in mind, slime chunks are totally random. There's no way to really figure out if you're in one or not unless you are just hearing slimes everywhere. But whenever I was draining the ocean for my project I'm doing, I ended up finding quite a few slime chunks while I was doing it, and believe me, it got annoying. Every 2 seconds I'd be getting attacked by slimes, and at first I thought it was cool, but then I was getting really annoyed. I was like, oh my god, this is so annoying. But yeah, that is one way that I was able to find slimes. Again, take that with how you will. You don't have to drain an entire ocean, just drain a few chunks of it and see, you know, if you get any slime spawns. But remember, it has to be y coordinate 39 or lower for them to spawn. So again, take that tip with how you will. The main tip from this video that you're probably going to be using is the swamp method, and that really does suck because the swamp method's not that great, but it's really the only technical surefire way of finding them, and even then it's kind of not really surefire either. And that could be also the reason the video got a lot of hate, is because, you know, these methods all kind of suck, but the reality is that, you know, this is the best we got, really. I can tell you one other thing that I've done before to find slimes, and this is something I just end up randomly coming across, but if you go deep underground and go spelunking in different caves and exploring, you sometimes might come into a cave where you'll hear through the wall, or above you or below you, you'll hear like a slime jumping around, like that sloshing, squishing noise. You know what I'm talking about. Basically it'll make that noise and you can hear it, and just by being able to hear it, you know right away, you're like, okay, there's a slime nearby, I'm down deep underground in a cave, so that means there's a slime chunk nearby. So what you could do is go underground, go spelunking for, as long as it takes, until you eventually hear a slime or you run into a slime deep underground. And again, remember, it has to be below Y coordinate 39. Can't stress that enough. But, whenever you run into a slime underground, kind of try to see where you think it spawned, and then, kind of hang out in the area, make sure a few more spawn just so you know that you really are in a slime chunk, and then excavate a little bit of it. Dig a few blocks, maybe like 20 blocks in one direction, 20 blocks in the other, and just hollow it all out, maybe 5 blocks up to the ceiling, maybe even 6 or 7, and, hollow it all out, make a giant cube dug out of the ground, and light it all up. And then, if you really are in a slime chunk, which you probably are, slime should start spawning there. Again, that method, I know it sucks, but in reality, it's probably the best we can do, besides the swamp one. I do apologize, though, if these methods do annoy you. They annoy me as well. I don't like these methods. They're the best we got. And I'm sure you already understand that probably. If you're looking up a video, you probably already have seen before. There's really no great method of finding them. I actually am going to be working on trying to figure out how to make a slime farm. I just found out recently you can, and I would love to make my own and upload a video of that on that channel. So if you guys do end up finding a slime chunk during this week, please make sure you mark the coordinates for yourself. That way you know where the slime chunk is. I'm going to try to make a slime farm tutorial sometime this week, and I'll be able to show you guys maybe how to farm slimes. And, of course you're going to need a slime chunk for that. So for this week, focus on finding a slime chunk somewhere in your world. Doesn't matter where, just make sure you find one. Now, one more thing to leave the video off with. If you're wondering why on super flat worlds, why slimes can spawn so rapidly all over, it's simply because the coordinate that we're on ground level, on, super flat, is below Y coordinate 39. I know I've said that like 20 times now, but it really is a big deal. If you're below Y coordinate 39 and you have a big hollowed out space, slimes are going to be able to spawn there if you have a slime chunk, especially if it's lit up. So, in case you were ever wondering, that is why slimes are able to spawn on super flats. It's everywhere. It's because there's a lot of slime chunks, and it's because, it's all below Y coordinate 39, and it's super lit up all the time. But anyways, guys, I do hope that this video helped you guys out, and if it did, please feel free to leave a like. I would greatly appreciate that. Also, please don't pay attention to the past video that I made of the slime tutorial. If you guys do want to go check it out to see what I meant when I said it was a bad video, you're more than welcome to, but take this video as the new slime tutorial. I want this video to be the next big slime tutorial on the channel. That one was just horrible, the one I made in the past. I'm glad I was able to revisit this one, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Also, if you guys are new to the channel, please, again, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I promise you will not regret that. I'm gonna have all kinds of Minecraft content continuously coming out here on the channel, and like I said, I'm gonna be working on making a slime farm, hopefully sometime this week. So if you guys are interested in that, be sure to keep an eye out for it. I'm gonna have it out hopefully this week sometime. Anyways, guys, good luck finding your slime chunks. I hope you guys have a good time finding them. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Peace!